Jimmy is the face of the league at this point.
Wait, you said he's the face of the league?
Fuck yeah, dude. I mean, every conversation he's a vocal point of every conversation now.
Man, my man is doing chess wars with Pat Riley. We never seen a star actually do this to Pat Riley before.
No, and like it's kind of like I mean, obviously it's a joke, right? But like, despite Jimmy not playing, like he's still been able to be the friend, like the face of the league, because he's
Yeah.
taking the conversation away from Giannis. Giannis won in-season tournament. We're like, okay, nice. What's Jimmy doing? Jokic having one of the crazy seasons of his career. Nice. What's Jimmy doing? You know, Shea Gilgeous leading his team to wins. Donovan Mitchell, like, you know what I mean? But we're like, okay, let's go back to Jimmy. What is he doing?
Yeah, I don't know. This
Yeah.
whole situation, because we spoke about it last time with Draymond Green kind of saying, hey, there's been problem for years. And
Yeah.
because the players now have podcasts, so now the players can actually back each other up. And then Pat Riley went on multiple podcasts
Dan
trying to
Patrick.
humanize himself. He talked
Yeah.
about crying. And then now we're seeing stories leak out from Ramona Shelburne talking about, oh, Jimmy Butler during the finals stayed in a mansion 35 miles away from the team when they went to Denver. When you start hearing stories like that, you're just like, oh shit, this thing is gonna get
Yeah,
bad.
that makes Jimmy look bad too. I can't lie, because both sides are just leaking like grievances.
Yeah, how many times Jimmy got suspended in like 2 months? Like 3 times?
Yeah, bro. Like the Miami Heat, I think like it's their shady practices are exposed, but like I think also like kind of Jimmy and how he plays politics also is kind of being displayed.
True, true, but
So it's like
Jimmy,
a double-edged sword, you know. Like
yeah,
both
it
of them are
is.
just stabbing each other to see whichever one dies first.
It is, but just like how we were talking about earlier with San Antonio, right? That
Yeah,
taking that pay cut, that little
that
haircut
bubble.
and pay.
Yeah,
Now, is this Jimmy Butler situation slowly unraveling? Heat culture really means not paying guys like almost at the full max, or just trying to avoid paying guys. Because we've seen Pat Riley kind of have this dispute before with D Wade after taking a pay cut and recruiting LeBron.
and
Pat Riley
Bosh.
didn't want to pay him after LeBron left. Also, Alonzo Mourning, he left at the age of 33. He went to the Nets, then he came back to Miami. And then even though Pat Riley gave Shaq an extension, well, when he came to the Heat, he kind of built on him with 3 years left on that deal when he hit age 35. So Pat, after a certain age, it's kind of historically shown that Pat Riley begins to bail on players that are expensive. And Jimmy's about to be 30. What? He's going into 37 next year.
Yeah, he's a lot old. He's on that 40s, 40s range at this point.
Yeah, so it's like, is he culture really, hey, we're not really going over the tax. Even with
Bro,
LeBron there, they didn't go over the tax.
heat culture is cutthroat. That's just what it is. Like, there's no way around it, right? Heat culture is just cutthroat. Like I was just adding the Bosch extension. Bosch got extended because he was a lot younger. Like, let's be real. Where Wade was getting a lot older and injury prone. And obviously, like Bosch investment didn't pay off because his career got cut a lot sooner.
Yeah.
And I think the Miami Heat, they tend to have this like whole the Miami Heat, they're a cutthroat, culture. I think like the idea of Miami Heat culture, I think we just gotta acknowledge it is a cutthroat culture of how do we stay afloat and how do we stay afloat by any means necessary? How do we stay consistent? And that's where I kind of give Jim Pat Riley his flowers. Because since he's taken over in the 90s, right? They have continuously been that organization who is able to like compete. Because we're looking at Miami Heat in the 90s when Pat Riley took over, Tim Hardaway Jr. and Alonzo Mourning era. And they had some great matches against like the New York Knicks. And they had a lot of great moments. You look at that, and then you look at after that, obviously Wade and Shaq in those eras,
But then again,
Wade and
keep in
Braun.
mind,
Like
Miami
he's
was
able to keep that organization fresh.
yeah, but remember they were a new franchise. They were an expansion franchise.
Yes.
So now we've seen at least what I think they came around in the mid 90s. So like now we've seen them around for a good minute. The same owner. Now we see tech owners coming into the league. Guys are sometimes willing to dip into the luxury tax, take a couple of chances. is
Yeah,
Miami still a destination? Because, hey, Pat Riley, he plays a hard bargain. We see Jimmy Butler bring him to the finals 2 times. We seen Dwayne
Dwayne
Wade
Wade.
make multiple sacrifices, getting LeBron to come through, taking a pay cut, and these
Yeah.
these guys didn't get paid.
Yeah, Alonzo Mourning made them relevant.
Yeah, Alonzo Mourning, even he left. He went to the Nets for 2 seasons.
Yeah,
So
yeah, that's what I'm saying, right?
is Miami a real destination?
It's not a real destination, but I think Miami Heat culture, it's being cutthroat and not really attaching themselves to their franchise players. That's what the Miami Heat culture is. Because what? Okay, after Wade left, they committed to this Goran Dragic era. They got an All Star appearance out of him. They made a couple of, I believe, what playoff appearances. They made
Mhm.
one at least, and then they brought Wade, got his retirement tour, and you get Jimmy right after. Bam, you kind of compete from there on. So
But
I
but
think
hold on,
that's one thing.
but what
Mhm.
I'm saying is the framing around the team. Like, think about it, right? San
Yeah,
Antonio, everyone knows, like, it's not really a destination, but they tend to want their players to take a pay cut, right? So that's
yeah,
why players don't really tend to like flock over there. Now Miami, I feel like they're the same thing. The only difference is that Pat Riley's there showing off his rings. You got the South Beach, you got the views. Everyone knows
mm,
Miami is a destination city, but the
yeah.
way the organization is really operates is the same way San Antonio does.
The same way, minus the loyalty. I think San Antonio is willing to be much more loyal to people who take a pay cut. Like David Robinson, they're much more kind of like they didn't really trade away David Robinson once they got Tim Duncan. They said, okay, we'll make it work somehow, right? And like Robinson he was no longer that all scoring championship David Robinson anymore. He's just a defensive anchor and a guy, another body on the court.
But wait, when you
And
say loyalty, I mean, yeah, I kind of agree with the loyalty part, but I never seen the loyalty financially. When was the last time you
loyalty
seen the Spurs really pay somebody? I'm
pay
talking about like a
somebody.
full on max.
No, I think Duncan took a lot of pay cuts from what I remember.
Yeah, he did, but I don't
Yeah,
remember.
and he was like, yeah,
That's what I'm saying. I've never seen the Spurs financially fully commit to someone.
nah, but they did. They do give them like contracts and jobs. Like that's the only thing I could really think of, really, with the San Antonio Spurs, because I know they give like what kind of like Timmy D like what a coaching job or at least like a front office job, right?
Yeah, I get you on that, but
Yeah,
what I'm saying is that Miami operates the same way. But like you
yeah,
said,
but
there might be less loyalty, but they
yeah,
operate the same way. But I think Pat Riley, he hides behind like the flair of like his history, and also he has the South Beach views, the Miami weather, the the,
yeah,
the, the no state income tax. They hide behind these things, but in reality, when you take the mask off, they're really the San Antonio Spurs of South Beach.
yeah. They are same exact
It's the
way.
same
I
exact
think.
franchise.
But can you also make the argument of like Dallas Mavericks and Dirk Nowitzki? Because Dirk never really took a like. It's not off topic. I guess you could say it's a little off topic, but you could say the same thing about kind of Mavericks too
No, but
with Dirk Nowitzki.
the Mavericks gave Luca his money. They've given players their money.
Yeah, and now they have, but like I'm looking like the similar era, right? Because we're talking similar era. I just think the league was just that way, and it was much more team friendly. I think the fans were much more team friendly too back then.
Oh, you
If you
know
look
what?
at it,
Yeah, you did bring up a great point. Yeah, the Mavericks. You're right.
they lowballed Dirk.
Yeah, yeah,
Remember they lowballed him?
yeah.
He
They
took a pay
did.
cut, and they brought in Chandler Parsons.
They did. Yeah, they did. The Mavericks always had issues with money. Yeah, you reminded me now because I think Jim Jackson in the '90s, that when he was a rookie, he had issues getting paid. Yeah, you know what? I think they slowly adapted because you seen the way they gave Luca his money with no
Yeah.
hesitation. But the thing is, right? The Spurs, we've never seen them in that position. We've really
You know, I
never
got
seen.
to do it. Yeah.
I think Wemby might be the first. We've never really seen them in that position.
No, and Wemby, like San Antonio, kind of got punched in the jaw, and they got humbled, right? So now they're gonna have to pay Wemby whatever he wants and above that.
Yeah, because they were in that position with Kawhi, but things got
Yeah,
funny.
things got funny, and it's kind of ridiculous looking back, right? Is how the fuck do you not pay like a player who's coming off of a top 3 MVP season?
Yeah, because think about it, had they give Kawhi his money, I don't think all that stuff would have went down the way it did.
Well, I think you would have got another championship.
Ooh,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
But like, who knows? Because the quad injury, all that stuff, when
Mhm.
you know. But like, you know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, San Antonio kind of played their hand too much, and I think it's similar with this Miami Heat situation. But
Mhm.
I also think the way as fans we view the game has changed a lot. Like we used to applaud players for taking a pay cut, right? Because I remember like you remember when like Tim took a pay cut, and kind of like Braun took a pay cut, Wade took a pay cut, and like I remember Dirk took a pay cut, but a lot of people gave Kobe shit for taking his full money despite like coming off of an Achilles injury.
Yeah, but you know what?
Yeah, a
At
lot of
least,
fans gave Kobe shit,
yeah, they
but
did
like
give him
you're
shit. But
yeah.
at least in Miami, right? I'm telling you, Pat Riley hides behind the no state income tax. He goes like, "Oh, you don't have to
Yes.
pay state income tax." And then also, let's just say if Pat Riley was working for, I don't know, the
Minnesota Timberwolves.
the T Wolves or like any other franchise like that, where it's not in a glamorous city, like or like the Bucks. You think they would be operating the same way with the pay cut and the non loyalty and like it's
No,
kind of weird. I don't think they would be moving the way they move.
no, they wouldn't. They would be like the Bucks right now, where they're paying Giannis whatever and bringing in whatever coach he deems like fit.
Yeah, some of these franchises with this Jimmy Butler situation, right? It's gonna expose that some of these franchises with these legacy owners, guys who own these teams since the
Yeah.
90s, they're still moving that same way. At some point, Mickey Arison, I'm not saying he should pay Jimmy Butler, but at some point, he's gotta like, he's gonna have to dip in and start, taking more better chances. You can't get all your
Look,
guys
what
off the G League and expect Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler overachieved. He brought him to the finals twice. You can't
twice?
really expect that to keep happening.
He's one of your greatest. Like he's gonna get a jersey retired. He should get a jersey retired, and I hope he does. Right. But like I said, you're right about that. Because like, okay, you overachieve with Duncan Robinson. You overachieve with a lot of D League players, and
Tyler
you bring in a
Hero.
guys Tyler Hero, and like Kevin Love had like a career kind of resurgence under Miami, where he's able to extend his career for like what 2 3 more years. But
Mm-hmm.
even then, it's like man, like Kyle Lowry is what you had to show for it in the Jimmy Butler era,
Yeah.
because Kyle Lowry was their biggest free agent in that era,
Ooh. Yeah, and then
and
you
that's
and
embarrassing.
then you seen the hesitation for them to go out and get KD. Of course, the hesitation I
Donovan
understand with
Mitchell.
them with Bradley Beal. I understand that, but the
No, no,
Dame.
forget like even Kevin Durant. Like you had a chance to get Donovan Mitchell.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. They were in that sweepstakes.
Yeah, and look what's Donovan Mitchell doing in Cleveland.
Yeah, exactly. But that's what I'm saying, right? Miami, when
Yeah,
you take off the mask, they're really the San Antonio Spurs. They
you
just
had a
have
chance to get Dame.
they just
Yeah,
hide
my
behind
bad.
South Beach. It's
Yeah,
really the
you had a
same
chance to get Dame.
franchise.
You had a chance to get Dame. You had a chance to get Donovan. You had a chance to get Kevin Durant. I don't think Brooklyn wanted to trade him to the same conference. But like obviously, like biting the bullet on some of these players are smart, like Bradley Beal. But what I mean is, like, man, you had the chance to really improve your organization, regardless. Because, like, let's be honest, even Bradley Beal, okay, he's not a star. We all agree on that. But Bradley Beal is a lot better than a lot of like Miami Heat players.
Uh, I don't think he fit their culture though. I'll be
No, he
honest.
doesn't fit their culture, but like sometimes you kind of have to go the unorthodox route in order to really like
Yeah, but not with
compete,
him. They
right?
were better off going with Dame. If they're gonna do that, then go with
Yeah.
Dame.
Yeah, they should have. That's what I mean, right? But like, we're like he's one of the bigger names you could mention. We can talk fit later, but one of the bigger names. Like Dame would have made sense. Donovan Mitchell would have made perfect sense because he's in his prime.
Yeah, what's so funny though with the Heat. If Bam never signed his extension early, Bam could have just played it out. If he made all NBA defense, he would be eligible for like a super max.
But now he's not getting that, man. This is his worst season so far.
No, he already signed his extension.
Yeah,
The Heat quickly locked him in because they knew it was a possibility for him to hit that super max, that
yeah,
that super max.
yeah, man. He would have looked like an idiot if he had a great season this year.
Yeah, so nah, because this year he could have had a great season. It didn't matter. His extension is already locked in. But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Miami is one of these franchises they're not really in the business of giving out these, like the most eligible supermax you could qualify for. They just never really been in that business.
No,
I
they don't want, like I said, Miami, like they're a smart cutthroat team because, like, I have to give them their props. Like, Wade would have kept them stuck in like the middle, right? Where Wade can have a crazy playoff series and they're eliminated the next round, like we saw the season before, where against the Hornets he beat them in six, legendary performance. But then against like DeMar DeRozan and Kyle Lowry led Raptors, he loses, right? And the conversation ends. Where I have, like, you could say the same thing of like that's where the conversation ends. And like that's what they would have been. Like, oh, a mediocre fun Wade's last hoorah, whatever. But no, they said, all right, yeah, we got Goran Dragic. He can, like, we can milk out a good season from him, and they were able to do that. He made All Star, what, 2017. They went to the playoffs. They were first round elimination. They were able to kind of like build this image of Miami Heat culture, and I think it further brought light upon Eric Spoelstra and him as a coach, because this is like a first non-superstar team, and he's able to lead them to great heights. And from there on, they're able to like get that Jimmy era running. So Miami Heat, they're good on pivoting. I think right now, even right now, like, what's this rookie? Who's this rookie that's going off, man? I don't know how to pronounce his name.
Oh, for the Heat. Oh, I'll tell you right now,
Yeah, yeah,
Khalil
his name is a
Ware.
little difficult to pronounce, but he's killing it. And I think obviously Tyler Hero's killing it, and I think Hawk is just having a sophomore year slump. But you still have young players in the Miami Heat. They're kind of in a good position to kind of drift away, if that makes sense, from that Butler era. I don't know if you agree with that, but I think they're so far. Like, I can say, Miami Heat, they're
They
like, if
they
they were
they
to
they
rebuild
can't they
tomorrow, they have a
can't
good foundation.
they can compete, right? But the only thing with them, man, they I don't know if they're hoping that Jimmy was gonna opt out of his deal, but they're kind of gonna be barely over the tax. But they have a lot of guys signed to this team.
Yeah,
Duncan Robinson, Terry. They took on Terry Rozier's contract. I'm not sure if
and yeah, and
they
he
got
hasn't
rewarded
paid
a
off.
draft pick for that.
He hasn't paid off.
Yeah, I think. But did they take on a
Yeah.
draft pick for that?
I don't remember, but like even Terry Rozier, like he was a bigger deal when he got traded there because he was posting up empty numbers in Charlotte, but in Miami, he hasn't really paid off all that crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy because Bam is in the beginning of his shit. His contract ends at
Bam,
56
yeah.
mil.
But Bam is young, so I don't really like hold it against him. But when we look at veteran players, like Duncan Robinson's a contract that screams loud at your face.
Yeah, it should be over by
Yeah.
this season because I don't think it's fully guaranteed for
For
2026.
Duncan,
Yeah, for Duncan Robinson, it's not
oh,
fully
he's going to be
guaranteed.
interesting for agents.
Yeah, so yeah, with the Heat once again, they're a franchise that's really their location is what kind of makes them a destination, but I think among NBA circles, it's really not. It's
Well, I
really
think a
not.
lot of NBA players are low key kind of happy that Jimmy's kind of challenging it. Like, I put like the Blake Griffin, Carmelo Anthony, kind of like two guys who were superstars in the league. They talked about it, and now they're kind of like applauding Jimmy while also criticizing him. I think last week we talked about Draymond. He's also kind of like had mixed criticisms of like the situation. So you're kind of seeing like kind of players how they view Miami Heat, kind of like, holy shit, like this bubble is bursting. So Blake Griffin was on the Carmelo Anthony. I think it's what, 7 p.m. in Brooklyn or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, 7 p.m. in Brooklyn.
Yeah, with Jesus and Miro and Carmelo Anthony. So, I saw the Blake Griffin episode. I'm like, okay, that's gonna be interesting. I think this was like Blake Griffin's introduction to like basketball media,
Mm-hmm.
where now he's more open to taking like basketball interviews because now he's gonna be the face of basketball media coming this upcoming season. So he's kind of talked about how he's gonna approach kind of like the media, and just kind of, it's a good episode. He talks about how he wants to like kind of keep it a balance within franchises and teams, and how he wants to be much more pro team. And I think one of the interesting things he brought up, right, is because like throughout Blake's career, he's always been injury prone, and he also had those games where he's resting. He kind of brings that up too, where like, man, like kind of like how doctors determine what player is resting, what player isn't resting. So it's a great interview overall. But one clip that I found interesting was him talking about kind of the Butler situation and kind of like his perspective on it and kind of like his criticisms of Jimmy while also praising Jimmy as a player and also praising Jimmy for kind of standing up to Pat Riley. So it was a very nuanced opinion with both parties. I mean, Carmelo had a very nuanced view.
That's a sick situation because niggas don't do that to Pat.
Yeah.
You feel me? Like, that's real shit. Like, that niggas don't do that to Pat. You know what I mean? It just don't happen. So for somebody like Jimmy, who's super strong-willed, like, it gotta be something that's seriously happening to Jimmy, either mentally, internally, he's dealing with something, or like he said, I don't want to be here. Like, I'm not happy here no more. Like, it's not a happy place for me. And a lot of people would take that and laugh at that. Like, you got to really hear what he's saying. Like, I ain't happy here. If I ain't happy, that mean I'm going home not happy. That mean my family ain't happy. My kids ain't happy. People that work for me ain't happy. Like, my environment is just a negative environment. So, I done told you this, Pat, probably. Now I'm going to go. Now it's out.
Yeah.
I'm not happy here. Since you keep playing with me, I'm not happy. So do what you got to do to get me out of here.
Man, I think there's it's crazy what he said. Like, nobody does this to Pat Riley.
No.
So I kind of fuck with it, and from that perspective, you're like, oh shit, all right,
Okay.
I mean, but Pat's had D Wade, Shaq, Alonzo. I mean, the list of players, no one's done it. So I'm like, all right, I like that. Like, Jimmy's like kind of like, you know, I think there's a better way to go about it. You know, and Jimmy's like an all-time, like, I mean, he loves doing shit like this. Like, he loves it. And part of like I love comedy. I love to laugh. That shit's funny. He's got his braids a different color every night.
Emo, man.
Every night.
You gotta have fun with it. You gotta do things.
do, man.
I think there's a better way to go about it.
Jimmy, man, come on, come sit on the couch.
Come on, dog, let's talk about
You know what
it.
I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying?
Will you fuck with it?
No, but I would say because I wouldn't do it that way.
Yeah.
So I can't say that I fuck with it, but I do think it's hilarious.
Entertainment value.
You know what I mean? It's
strong.
entertaining. I just think, like, because now it's happened multiple times, right? Like, if this is the first time he wants out of Miami, cool, I get it. No problem with that. But remember Minnesota,
Philly.
remember Philly.
Yeah.
Now in
Chicago.
So you only have a certain amount of times you can do that. Right.
Can't
I
just keep
think it's
entering the portal.
entertaining, but I think if
The NBA
to really
portal is
get what
crazy.
he wants, he probably would have had to like play it a different way. But
Yeah.
you know,
But he's always been on that type of time, bro,
He's
with the
always-
emo
and-
bangs and all that.
that's why I'm cool with it, because that's just who he is.
But this is serious
This-
business now.
Especially at this point in his
you know
career,
what I mean?
too.
Like, it's serious business. Like,
Yeah.
this could really fuck you up, right? Going into your next situation,
Yeah.
right? I'm speaking business now. And it's like, the thing I don't like is that Pat came out and said, no matter what, we ain't getting rid of Jimmy. Right? So when you say that, you took a stance.
Right.
So now Jimmy want to get out of there so bad that your back is against the wall. You're gonna have to make a move. And now you got to go back on your word. Like, just leave it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
I think the communication is lost. Just from what I see from the outside, the communication is lost. I don't think there is no communication. I don't think there ever was communication, to be honest with you.
Here's my thing, though. Because everybody wants to be rid of one another, if the market was there, that it's going to get done.
But don't see. So to Blake's point, everybody in the market is looking at it like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So this is why I'm saying you gonna fuck yourself up for the next situation, because it's like, now we can't really trust you. We don't know if you're gonna black out. We don't know if you're gonna say you're not happy here. We don't know if you're gonna not play.
Right.
Like, not saying that all your situations that you've been in was your fault, but when you start stringing shit along, it's like, oh shit, Chicago, Minnesota, Philly, like Miami, like everywhere you go.
Yo, I just want to interject right here. This is a good point brought up by Mello right here. They don't know, even if they capitulate to what Jimmy wants, they don't know if he's gonna switch up. Like, okay, Jimmy, we'll re-sign you, but how do we know you're not gonna switch up and do this bullshit again?
But yeah, you're right, bro. Like when you look at the Miami Heat situation, and kind of like, bro, that's what I was like talking about earlier. It's a very nuanced opinion between both parties, right? Because like they both given construction criticism between both the franchises and the organization, and he's right. Like I think Blake talked about how he's handled other team situations and how that's kind of like biting him in the ass. And Melo also added to that, where I think the lady co-host, I forgot her name,
Oh,
but
Monica
she asked,
McNutt.
yeah, she's really good in this interview. I think the way she talked about how Jimmy, like, why isn't there much of a demand, or why isn't there much of like teams really like being ambitious about this Jimmy Butler thing? And he's right. Like the way the league's looking at it, it's like, yo, we don't know how he's gonna be tomorrow. And that also like that's gonna play a big factor in this trade deadline. And that's why like the Heat are really relying on like a three-way trade between the Suns and the Bucks. Is because of that situation of, man, like there's no team willing to take that bullet. Like what team can you think of right now that's more than willing to take that bullet for Jimmy Butler? There's none.
Not saying that that's what's happening, but
Right.
I like to look at this shit a little bit deeper. It's something going on with JB. I hope he's good, but when you start talking about I'm not happy and my joy is gone, that you start losing your confidence, you start losing your love for the game, and I see that Jimmy has lost his love for the game. And this is unlike Jimmy. Jimmy is a workaholic. Jimmy works extremely hard, 4 or 5 times a day, 5 in the morning. He's very disciplined. I've seen him. I've been around him. This ain't the Jimmy that I know. Something is going on with Jimmy, and people need to get in front of that. Pat, the best thing to do is just part ways, man. Like, because this shit, this is gonna get ugly because Jimmy is not a guy that's gonna back down.
Right. You got too strong will.
Start forcing his way, and then if you don't trade him during the deadline, that Miami shit gonna get nasty. They lose about 30 right now. Like they lose it. Like getting their ass bust.
It's a no.
Jimmy shoot. I've never seen Jimmy shoot a corner 3.
By the way, step back off one leg.
And I've never seen him shoot. I've never seen him shoot a catch and shoot. I've never seen him shoot a catch and shoot corner 3.
We could be sitting here all day trying to figure out an actual resolution.
Nah, trade him. The resolution is trade.
Gotta trade him.
We gotta dissolve. We gotta solve this.
Where though, Melo? That's now the thing for me. That's what I'm saying. Where? The trade will be done.
Pat been doing this for 100 years. Pat gonna send him to somewhere. Okay, you wanna fuck with me? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna send you to a place that they might think about waiving you because you don't fit the, you know what I mean, what we trying to do over here.
Right.
This is a younger team. We ain't got time to deal with that. So I'm gonna send you over here to one of these teams, the Wizards. You want to play around.
DC's a great city, for the record.
No, we love DC. Bro, we love DC.
Shut the stadium.
But I'm just saying.
That's how you know they're not doing well. When you're like, I got good restaurants.
You know, nightlife is
Pat's
good.
going to send him to somewhere
Chill.
like that, and that's going to be a fuck you to Jimmy. And then now you have to deal with that shit over there with that organization. So Jimmy, chill out, man. Like just.
Now the only thing is, I don't think a shitty franchise like the Wizards currently right now, or just a rebuilding franchise, I don't think they're gonna even take in Jimmy. Who the fuck is gonna want to deal with that?
Nobody.
Yeah.
Nobody.
Also, like Jimmy's 35.
That's
right?
the part.
Like, when you waste a year, or not waste a year, but when you're unhappy, right? You want to get moved. If that were to happen, like that situation, which you're right, Pat, of anybody,
He one of them ones. You know what I mean? This is a chess match.
Now your year's basically gone. Say he trades him to Washington. A year's gone.
Yeah.
Now
you gotta
you've
figure it out again.
At 35, a year's gone. Like you're not 26 anymore. You don't have 6 more years of your prime.
Infinite runway.
Yeah.
Right.
So and
I don't want to see him go out like this.
No, yeah.
Because Jimmy is the type that is like, if he's not happy, he's not fucking with. Like he will completely walk away from this shit.
He'll let it be known.
He is that. So before it get to that point, Pat, come on, man.
Yeah.
What you mean before? We here.
Nah, I'm saying like Jimmy will completely walk away from all of this shit. You won't see Jimmy.
All right.
Yeah, I gotta sit down.
It ain't no NBA. It ain't no you ain't gonna see Jimmy.
Okay, I got you.
He'll be fishing in Jamaica or some shit. You know what I'm saying?
You ain't gonna see
Living
him.
his
So
best life.
like the best advice,
Selling coffee on the beach.
Hell yeah, man.
That's what I'm saying. Like Pat, man, just
Renting
part
C-Bobs.
ways.
Yeah, I don't
Get
want
him to a winning team. Like he want to go to, he want to try to win a championship.
Yeah.
Where would y'all put Jimmy right now?
If the money is
Wait,
not
what-
an issue, like
what
anywhere
team?
to make it
I'm
win.
sending Jimmy to the Lakers.
Best fit.
Yeah.
Lakers?
Mm.
You got a veteran team. You got veteran guys on your team.
Mm-hmm.
Bron knows how to fuck with you. He know what you can bring to the team. They need defense. You bring that. You bring toughness, and you can go get it. Right? Bron don't want to have to keep going and get it all. You know what I mean? Like AD is going out there doing what he's doing. You put Jimmy alongside them.
Here's my issue with that. He doesn't want to catch and shoot. You said he don't like that. It would take some figuring out to have a lineup of LeBron, Jimmy, AD, because like if Jimmy's space and LeBron's got the ball, I'm pulled. You know how far I'm
You can
pulled
put
in.
Jimmy in a pick and roll. He's rolling
Yeah.
short roll. You talking about utilizing.
Yeah,
You can utilize Jimmy for what he really wants to do. Like,
yeah,
that's Jimmy's game. You know what I mean? Jimmy game ain't like he can go get it one-on-one, but his
Right.
game is to kill you all different type of ways. Offensive rebounds, back doors, pick and rolls, putbacks, transition. Like then he get hot, start making a couple shots. Like that's Jimmy's game. So if you put him in that pick and roll situation where he's hitting and he's rolling, short roll, and now he can kick out to threes, he's a facilitator in that position.
Yeah,
I like it.
yeah.
The place he wants to go supposedly is Phoenix.
Interesting.
Because they lacking what he brings.
You're right. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Which
I
is
like,
probably
I
not
like
going to
Phoenix
happen.
too.
The dogness.
I like they lacking what Jimmy brings.
Okay, so hear me out.
Jimmy gotta get right.
There's no better like watching Jimmy Butler play in the playoffs.
Oh yeah.
It's a work
Playoff
of
Jimmy's
art.
different. And I'm a
He's-
hater because I'm a Knicks fan. You know what I'm saying?
Hear me
It's a
out.
work of art.
They're not ready to win yet, but hear me out. Houston.
I ain't mad at that.
Yeah.
Oh,
You
okay.
home, you going
Right.
back home. That's you from that area.
They got to get a little bit better shooting probably around him, but like that team, they got young athletes. They can play a bunch of different
Toughness, and
ways.
they tough.
Ime, like
Ime is one of the best coaches.
I just
I like
Oh,
Houston. I
that's-
like Houston too for them. For him.
Yeah.
But Pat ain't gonna send you the way you want to go.
yeah.
Yo,
Pat
Jimmy.
gonna send you to NBL in Australia. and all
He's
that.
about to say.
You understand? Like he gonna be like, don't fuck around with Pat. Like this is just a battle that we don't
Right.
win as a player. You get what I'm saying? Like we don't win these battles as a player because
Pat
it's
guys
levels.
push
It's
the button.
levels to this.
Especially with a guy like Pat.
But yeah,
Now that Houston is it will actually kind of work out because Ume is gonna check him. Ume is gonna check
but
him in
there's
case,
a time.
in case
There's
he
a
acts up.
timetable. There's a timetable like match.
You know what? The only thing that doesn't match is the extension that the Rockets would offer Jimmy. It would be
It's
short
gonna be
term.
short term,
Yeah, it would be short
Yeah.
term.
and
the only thing.
I think that's a good deal if he takes a short term. But I don't think Jimmy wants to take a short term.
Yo, honestly, I don't think he has leverage now.
No,
I don't even
you
think
killed
he
all
has
the leverage.
He lost it.
That's one thing Sacramento made sure happened.
You mean Miami?
Yeah,
Yeah, the Heat. Yeah, he had more leverage with the Heat to get a longer term deal.
yeah, he killed that.
Yeah, it's man, this whole situation is a
Mm-hmm.
clusterfuck. But I do like the move to Houston, but Houston could get him on a cheap discount, and they could try to run him for like 2 years or 3 years. Third year might be a
I
stretch.
found his
but-
points on him. I found his points on like the LA was interesting. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah, but Pat
I-
is not gonna
yeah.
send him to LA. He
No.
doesn't. He doesn't stir shit up and get sent to LA. It's just not
No,
happening.
you won't. And I just think I don't know. The Lakers fit would be interesting, but
And
I don't know,
what
it's
do the
tough.
Lakers have? They don't have nothing to
Bro,
give back.
Yeah, they don't have anything like what Dorian Finney-Smith is not someone Miami's dying for.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Miami in that fucking sweatshop that they have down there where they find all these random players. They could just build
Yeah.
one. They could build a Dorian Finney-Smith. Come on.
Yeah, they don't really have to like go all that crazy. So like the Lakers, they're not going to take Gabe Vincent back, especially with his contract. So I don't know what flexibility the Lakers have, but I guess both of them are very keen on the Lakers making a trade. What was the other teams they were really bringing up?
It was pretty much the Lakers, Houston. They said that he's not going to get traded to a destination.
Hmm.
He's not
Those
gonna,
are the only two teams, right, that they brought up.
yeah, and then Memphis is where Jimmy said he doesn't want to go.
That I found funny.
Yeah, because isn't that with John Moran? What, they got beef or something?
I don't know. Like people are like making jokes. Oh, the Marcus Smart beef. Like, man, come on, man, Marcus Smart.
You know what it is? Jimmy probably got intel of a player that Pat likes that the Grizzlies have, and just in case he was gonna send him
Oh,
there, Jimmy kind of let it be known early, like fuck Memphis.
it's probably like Gigi Jackson or some shit.
Yeah,
Yeah, for sure, it's Gigi Jackson because Gigi Jackson would be such a Miami player.
yeah, but you know what? As you said before, because you have it down here, this
Yeah,
whole drama has overshadowed Tyler Hero's All-Star season. It's kind of fucked up.
it's fucked up big time.
So here's Mark Spears at ESPN. He kind of gave insight to the team that Jimmy Butler doesn't want to go to.
I was told today from someone close to the situation that his wish list is just out of Miami, with exception to Memphis. That he doesn't want to go to Memphis.
Yeah, that's kind of
Bro,
crazy,
it's for
man.
sure. It's for sure over a player that they want, the Miami Heat wants, but he's not willing to like, get them that player.
Yeah, man, this
Dude,
is
Memphis is
gonna
a
be an
good
endless
fit.
Cold War.
Yeah, because I'm looking at him like Memphis is not a bad fit.
It's not, and I think Pat more than likely was probably gonna try to send him down there. And because think about it, Jimmy's been on the team for years. Pat's probably like, "Yo, we like this person. We're gonna try to get this person in Memphis."
Yeah,
And then
like I
by the
said, like
time they
Gigi
beefed,
Jackson or something.
yeah,
Yeah,
by the time they beefed, he was like, "Yo, I want to go anywhere but there." He's
yeah,
fucking up the
just
deals
to
for
make
Pat.
sure, like Gigi or Vince Williams or someone like that, you know.
But going back to what Melo said, do you actually think that Jimmy was willing to like say fuck it, I retire on some Kyrie Irving shit?
It's possible. I mean, bro, Jimmy has that personality to do it.
Man, who would have ever thought, man, this season all this fucking drama, Jimmy Butler would headline all of it.
Yeah. Oh man, who would have knew like him not playing a single game, him not playing many games is able to like ensure that every other player gets like, every other player gets outshadowed. Like I was just thinking, I'm like, man, like Sabonis made history, but nobody cares because like this is more entertaining.
Yeah, and what's even more messed up, right, is that
Yeah.
this is gonna be the new normal going forward. This is gonna be, in a way, a result of the new CBA, where
Yes.
players like Jimmy, if this was under the old rules, they would have gave him an extension and then just found a way to trade it. But now, because
Yeah.
everything is so restrictive, just like the NFL, how the wide receivers, the running backs, and even the quarterbacks, sometimes they have holdouts, and now we're seeing sort of a version of a holdout in the NBA, which is something that we never seen before.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I would not be surprised if Brandon Ingram and Julius Randle, guys that are in that position, end up just kind of stirring up shit to kind of get themselves moved.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. I think Randall's like the next guy like about to leave, to be honest with you. Like I obviously after these two leave, Fox and Jimmy.